Okay, on to the analysis. Let's look at, in the analysis section of your lab format, what it says. By the way, we don't have any calculations, so we can skip that one. On to the analysis. Says this section will include graphs if applicable, which it is. We will definitely do graphs. A discussion of your data and possible sources of error. So let's talk through those three sections and how to do those. So first of all, to do a graph. In Google Docs, you need to go to Excel in order to do a graph. So you go back to your main Google page. You can see here how I've got all your labs shared with me. Good job at that, by the way. And you're going to create a spreadsheet. This is like Microsoft Excel. If you've never used Excel before, this will be real easy. I'll show you quick how to do it. Okay, so what we want to graph is the actual amounts of mass for each one. So not the changes in mass, but the actual masses for each of our different types of eggs. So again, our egg types are after vinegar, after corn syrup, after water, and then after whatever your variable was, whatever solution you decided to add. And then we need to put in our numbers. So I'm going to take a peek at my document again. After vinegar was 30, corn syrup 20, water 40, and whatever my variable was 35. So 30, 20, 40, 35. 30, 40, 20, 35. All right, so that's all set up. Now I'm going to make a little graph out of this. So the graph gets highlighted. So you see how I highlighted that whole section? And I'm going to click on this little icon up here where it says Insert Chart. And the kind of chart we want is not here, so we're going to say More. We want a bar graph. And let's do one like this. So, oh, sorry, column graph is better. Then we can do it up and down. Say column like this. That makes more sense, right? And you can see here we've got all of our different variables. Vinegar, corn, water, and whatever your solution was, and what their actual amounts were. And it is important you put them in this order. So it's vinegar, corn syrup, water, and then finally your variable, because if those numbers are in order, then we can see how the egg mass went up or down or whatever. All right, we'll do all the titles and axes labels in a minute. So for now, all we need to do is insert this chart. And there it is, right in your document. You can move it out of the way if it's kind of in the way of something else. Okay, so let's work on the axes and the chart title. So if you click on this guy, let's see, where are we going to do this? We're going to go to Advanced Edit, okay, and we want to change the chart title. So our title is going to be something different, and you guys have done chart titles before, so again, it needs to be very specific. So you're just going to type in here whatever your chart title is. I don't feel like I have to help you with this. You type it in and get it set up how you want it. Then we go down to our axis. Our horizontal axis, okay, is the x-axis, and we want to type what that actually should say. So the question is, what are all of these different bars representing? What should be our axis down here at the bottom? And they are the different solutions. Okay, the solutions that we put the egg in. Okay. The next thing we want to do is our left axis. And we need to find a way to put a title on that. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Stay here under axis. Now we're going to go to left vertical axis. And we're going to give that a title. Okay, so in other words, what are these numbers measuring? Those are measuring the mass of the egg. And again, we have to remember our units in grams. Okay, so we got everything labeled. We got the title, got this axis over here, we've got this axis over here. We're going to update it. And there it is. Everything's set. Now we want to get it back onto our lab report. So we go, click on this so our little drop-down menu happens again. We're going to go to Save Image. And it automatically saves it. You can see down here in the corner as chart1.png. So it saved it as an image and it's in your download folder. So I'm going to show you how to get to that now. So you go back to your document where your lab report is, and we're going to insert an image. We're going to choose the image that we just saved to the download folder. Okay, and you should have a folder up here that says downloads. And we got to look for that name, chart 1. Oh. Where is mine? Yours should be in here. Well, oh, because I'm not in downloads. Back up. There we go. Chart 1. Okay, so then I'm going to open chart 1. It'll upload it. And ta-da! There's your chart in your Google Docs document. And if your analysis gets cut off like mine did, just enter it down to the page where it's with the chart. All right, so that's that. Now remember, that's not the only part of the analysis. It's not just to do the graph. Okay, the analysis also, we go back to the instructions here, says, got our graph, yes, yes, yes. And then under each graph, include a description of the trends in the graph. So what's going on in the graph? What do we see, in other words? This is not a time to explain, why it happened the way it does. We're not going to talk about water moving in and out and being hypertonic or hypotonic or any of that. We just want to describe this graph to someone as though they couldn't see it. So if I were describing this graph, I might say something like the highest egg mass was after corn syrup at 40 grams. So you notice I picked out something that stood out to me, that highest bar, and I'm also telling you the specific number, excuse me, or the specific measurement that goes with that. I might say the lowest egg mass was after my variable at 35 grams. Oh no, not after the variable. This yellow one, after the water at 20 grams. Okay? Then I say something like the post variable and post vinegar amounts were very similar at 30 grams and 35 grams. All right, so that's describing the chart, telling someone what it actually looks like. Now, I don't want yours to be word for word like mine. Please don't do that to me. You can describe yours in your own words. I just wanted to give you an example of what this might look like. All right, still not done with the analysis though. The next part of the analysis, as described, is list and describe sources of error. It says, with each possible error source, explain how it affected your results And then finally, what can you do to improve your results next time? So I always think of the error section as three things. What was the error? How did it affect your results? And how can you fix it? Sorry about that. So I want at least 2 errors that you think may have happened in this experiment. So I'm going to make up one that's a pretend one that I know didn't happen, just to show you how you might write about this. But you need to think about your own errors. It could be things that you did incorrectly, possibly, or it could be like errors in the experiment itself. Like, could the experiment have been designed differently so it was more accurate? So one of my errors that I'm going to talk about is I poked a bunch of holes in my egg. Of course, none of you did that. I hope not. But that's an error I'm going to make up. So I'm going to start by saying one error was that I poked many holes in my egg. So that's the error. How did it affect my results? It affected my results because extra fluids were able to enter and exit my egg. Okay, so that is obviously a problem because that's what we're measuring, is how water can get in and out. How could I fix this? I would fix this error by being more cautious in handling my egg. Okay, so that takes care of error number 1 for me. Again, I want from each of you 2 errors. So with each of those errors, what was it? How did it affect your results? And how would you fix it? Then your analysis is done.